What's up guys, Chris here from Mainely Mesh. Today's going to be my last video on the new Project G shaft, and I've been working on like a wrap and a cool shoot around video with it, but I decided not to follow through with those because the Project G shaft is a little more sentimental to me than just a new product on the market. Now I'll explain to you why. So if you guys haven't heard yet, De Beer and Gate Lacrosse are unfortunately going out of business and will be closing their doors in late October or November unless some angel investor comes out of the blue and picks up the licensing. But Gate, as we know it, is no longer going to exist. And when I first got the news a few months ago, it honestly saddened me because it's not just the history of the company, and for those of you who don't know, De Beer is one of the oldest sports manufacturers in the U.S. They were founded in 1889, I believe, 1889, and originally came in as baseball and softball manufacturers. They patented their first softball in the 20s. Didn't move to being a lacrosse company until the 80s, where they created the first CU31 alloy, which for those of you a little bit older than my age will absolutely remember those. But the CU31 was a shaft that was even still in the sport when I was coming up through the ranks. They totally redefined the way lacrosse heads were made. In 2000, they released the Apex women's head, which was the first women's head to ever have a pocket in it, which totally changed that sport. Had a few other patents on women's lacrosse heads, entered the guys game, picked up the Gate name when they hired Gary and Paul Gate. Paul created some of the world's most unique products, whether it was the Gate Wizard that features these bizarre struts in the middle that made it one of the stiffest heads ever, and also one of the most lethal. You know, they really pushed the limits any way they could, whether if it was with the shockwave head, you know, in order to, I believe the theory behind this was to grip opponents more when you were throwing poke checks, or, you know, with the torque that became so popular. And this is my torque that I used for years in high school. One of the most universally adored heads. One of the most universally adored heads in the world, you know, and then they pushed it even further with the Gate Diesel, which is basically a torque with a 4-inch length on the sidewalls. By the way, if you guys have a torque, please get in touch. I mean, Diesel, get in touch with me. But, you know, they just really were always looking to innovate, and I know they kind of trailed off in the last few years, but I was getting so excited for the Project G line and the new Ice line anyways, because, you know, it was really their last shot to get back into the swing of things. And they had some really great people working for them, always stayed true to their core values. You know, we're always putting out consistently positive messages, and it's just going to be a real shame when they're not in the industry anymore. And so the Project G shaft isn't only the lightest carbon fiber shaft commercially available to you guys. Since it has the shape of the ice, the Gate ice, it really is just the pinnacle of everything they've ever done. And truly, as John from Universal likes to say, that it's Gate's last gift to the sport. And to me, this is going to be something that I always cherish, because every single goal and point that I've ever recorded in lacrosse has come from a Gate stick. And it's just something so special. It did so many things for me. I probably broke 10 heads and 6 ice shafts, but it was the first time I felt really connected to a stick. And so it truly is a sentimental thing to have to let this go, and I'm always going to make sure I have this stick around for years to come, because it just throws me right back to my playing days, and it's one of those things that I can just pick up and feel so natural with. So that being said, it's also going to be a fun sale, but I really hope you guys pick up a true piece of history tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, because it's more than a shaft. When I say a piece of history, I know it's a cliche line, but it really is. And this is everything Gate ever was, everything Gate ever could have been. And I really thank Universal Lacrosse for letting us be a part of this, and I hope you guys grab a slice as well. So thanks so much to Universal. Thanks so much to you guys. Thank you so much to Gate and De Beer. You may be gone, but you will never be forgotten. But sincerely, thank you to everyone, and I will catch you guys next time.